The Giants are victorious and improve their record to 2-3 with a 29-20 win over the Seattle Seahawks. Nick Villado here to break down some tape. Instead of seeing my stupid face, I'm running some plays from Daniel Jones and the offense, but this video will specifically break down the Giants' first touchdown drive that was capped off with a 7-yard pass to Wan'Dale Robinson. I wanted to focus on this pivotal drive because of its importance given the context of the game. The Giants moved the football all the way down to the 1-yard line on their first possession. Not only did the Giants fail to punch it in on multiple opportunities, but Eric Gray fumbled and it was returned 102 yards for a touchdown. Typical Giants, right? That's how I felt. New York's offense went 3 and out on the ensuing drive, and the defense matched that energy, forcing a 3 and out from Geno Smith in the offense. New York then possessed the football at their 19-yard line, down by 7, on the road, hostile environment, with the uncomfortable digestion of a catastrophic mistake still lingering. Yet, Daniel Jones, Brian Daboll, and the Giants offense executed a well-designed offensive plan that ended in Seattle's checkmate. The drive was a schematic tug-of-war battle on running against Seattle's too high looks and abusing the Seahawks defense with a combination of RPOs and play-action passing. Let's start with this 2-yard 1st and 10 run by rookie 5th-round pick Tyrone Tracy Jr. So here's the first play of the drive, a little handoff to Tyrone Tracy Jr. It is 11 personnel. It is out of shotgun, and this is also an RPO. If Jones wanted to, he would have threw the flare to Wan'Dale Robinson. We've seen the Giants use this quite often. He decided to hand the football off because Devon Witherspoon matches Wan'Dale Robinson the entire time, as you can see right now as I'm running it through. And this only goes for 2 yards. It gets bottled up. Look, if Daniel Jones keeps this and then runs with it, which we've seen Mike Kafka and Brian Daboll use in the past, he's going to have a 2v1 against Witherspoon because the Sam pinches so hard towards the line of scrimmage at the mesh point. Either way, it gets bottled up, sets up a 2nd and 8 situation. But something that Mike Macdonald did frequently, especially early on in this game, is send weak side pressure. And he does this on this play. He's going to do it on the next play as well. If you look away from the tight end, so to the bottom of the screen, the boundary side where Wan'Dale Robinson is running from right now, not where he is running to, you're going to see a defensive back blitz, and it's picked up by Jermaine Illuminor. Now you have a 5-man front for Seattle with both linebackers pinching towards the line of scrimmage. Everything's accounted for from a gap standpoint, and this run gets bottled up very easily by the Seattle Seahawks. Sure, Daniel Jones could have kept this, and he would have just ran it, picked up 6 or 7 yards, possibly, decides to hand it off since Witherspoon followed and matched Wan'Dale so well, and the linebackers fit the run. Now, the linebackers did not do a great job fitting the run throughout this game, but if we look at this play from the beginning, what is not there? A too-high shell. This is a 1-high, middle of the field closed type of look. You have an extra body in the box. Mike Macdonald, in his DNA, he wants to run 2-high shells, but that puts such a burden on these linebackers to fit the run because they have multiple responsibilities. And if you have a running back who can press the line of scrimmage and have those linebackers declare, which we'll see a little bit later on in this drive, then it allows the Giants to find room and have creases and gain a numbers advantage in the box because of the too-high structure. And throughout this drive, Daboll was just battling with Mike Macdonald on when to run, when to hit the play action, when to employ an RPO against the too-high defenses, or when it was middle of the field closed. It was a beautiful chess match, and the Giants ended up coming out on top. But here's the 2nd and 8. Next play, after the 2-yard run, you're going to see weak side pressure once again. You see how the defensive back is going towards the line of scrimmage, walking up towards the line of scrimmage, away from the tight end side. Tight end is at the bottom of the screen. You have that stack at the top of the numbers with the tight end just inside of those players, Wan'Dale Robinson and Jalen Hyatt. And then you have a wide Darius Slayton isolated on an island about 7 yards away from the cornerback. And Daniel Jones is going to diagnose this at the snap. You're going to get this weak side pressure that I'm sure Brian Daboll and the New York Giants taught all throughout the week that Mike Macdonald likes to employ this. So the weak side pressure, both of those players end up going right after Daniel Jones. Tyrone Tracy's a little late to pick it up, but it doesn't matter because Daniel Jones, who was cooking all game, Daniel Jones was so dialed in to the leverage advantage Darius Slayton had that he just puts the football right on Darius Slayton's numbers and picks up about 7 yards to set up a 3rd and 1. Daniel Jones understood his assignments throughout this game. He's had answers for what the defense is throwing at him. You got to applaud him. And then he hit his deep shots, 2 massive deep shots to Darius Slayton in this game. I have nothing but respect and got to applaud him for his performance in a hostile environment against Seattle. And this is a good job to replace the blitzer, throw hot, if you will, right into that leverage. You can look at the bottom of the screen, well-designed play to the boundary side because Theo Johnson comes wide open because you got man coverage from Seattle, and the man covering defender over Theo Johnson is the safety on the hash. All that traffic, all that space that Theo Johnson has. Still, Daniel Jones wanted to throw into that blitz, knew that blitz was coming, was able to make them pay. Good job by Darius Slayton. Set up the 3rd and 1. We're going to see it now from the end zone angle. Just great job by Daniel Jones. Catches the ball, peeks at Darius Slayton, sees the pressure, fires the football. Tracy's a little bit late to notice Witherspoon's coming. That could have been bad if Jones wasn't so dialed in, but he was. You're going to have another RPO. Jones picks this up with his legs. The RPO, you can see you have Theo Johnson at the top of the screen, 2x2 set. Theo Johnson as an H-back. Darius Slayton at the top of the numbers. Daniel Jones goes into the mesh point, holds that defender, keeps it, and the defender plays it very well. The first defender pinches down, but you can see how Seattle had a contingency built in for the zone read game against Daniel Jones, because Daniel Jones and the Giants run zone read quite frequently. You have the end man on the line of scrimmage, pinch a little bit, and then you have the linebacker behind him replace. Jones sees that, steps to the outside, gets them both to expand, and then cuts it back up to the inside through the B gap and ends up picking up a first down. If you look at the route combination at the top and why this was an RPO, and I love these mobile RPOs where Daniel Jones keeps the ball and he's moving and he can decide, depending on what the defense does, if he's going to keep it or if he's going to throw it. Theo Johnson in the flat, Darius Slayton, he's going to run the corner. You're going to have a high-low now at the top of the screen. But Jones says, hey, I only need 1 yard. Let me just pick up that 1 yard by falling forward since I'm like 6'5". He reads Derek Hall. Derek Hall pinches. Jerome Baker steps down. Good play by Seattle. Better play by Daniel Jones to get them both to over pursue outside. Very smart by Daniel Jones to cut this back because he was screwed if he tried to elongate it. Easiest way to pick up a yard is to fall forward. Get north-south. Don't need to go east-west. Now, this is where we really start to see the chess match. You got a new set of downs if you're Brian Daboll. Let's get to our bread and butter game plan. If you show a too high shell, we want to run the football right down your throat. And you can't see it on this play, but Daniel Jones checks into this run. Look at Seattle's defense. There's no bones about it. Both of their safeties are at depth. That is a lighter box. Everything is tight. Wan'Dale Robinson gets motioned inward by Daniel Jones, which you'll see. And this ends up being a 27-yard duo run by Tyrone Tracy. And we're going to break that down here in a little bit, man, because this is a fantastic run by the rookie. But here on the end zone angle, you see Jones under center. It's an under center run. He checks to something. He alerts. He lets his entire team know something is happening. And now look at this box. You have a tight end attached. It's single back. And you have a 1 tech and a 3 tech, 2 linebackers, and then 2 wide edge rushers. There's a lot of responsibility here for this front to hold up with 2 safeties deep. So Jones checks to a run, apparently. Wan'Dale Robinson motions inward. The safeties stay deep. And then you're going to watch Tyrone Tracy get the football, bait both of those linebackers inside towards the A-gaps, and then he bounces it outside. Now watch this. This is what it means when you press the line of scrimmage. Brian Daboll praised Tyrone Tracy Jr. for this after the game. The handoff happens, and both of the double teams are formed. And now you have Jerome Baker and the other linebacker, number 0. They're tasked to fit the run as these defensive linemen eat up these blocks. And Tyrone Tracy Jr. presses the A-gap so hard, presses his A-gap so hard, right in between John Michael Schmitz and Greg Van Roten, that both 0 and 17 jump into it. And 17 abandons where he was prior. And his movement, 17 that is, allows John Runyon to peel off of John Michael Schmitz's double team and just pin Jerome Baker inside, not allow him to get back to the B gap where he was originally. And that's all because Tyrone Tracy acted as if he was going into the A gap and baited the cat and mouse game of the linebackers and the running back, baited these linebackers inside and then hit the cutback. Beautiful blocking. And you can see how John Michael Schmitz does such a good job as John Runyon pins Baker. John Michael Schmitz recenters himself, gets very low, and then underneath 97 and turns his ass towards Tyrone Tracy Jr., creating that seal. Now you have that seal created, and it's just Tyrone Tracy Jr. against Rashawn Jenkins and Reek Wallen. And Tracy Jr. is able to turn on the Jets, get outside the numbers, and pick up 27 yards. This is so well executed by Tyrone Tracy Jr., so well executed by the offensive line and by Daniel Jones if that was a check into a run. If it was a coaching point of view, like anytime they're in too high, check into a run, let's run duo. This is duo, baby. You're going to open up towards the tight end side. You're going to have a one-on-one block with your right tackle against the end man on the line of scrimmage. Tyrone Tracy Jr. presses the front side, find the backside cutback. Beautiful blocking, beautiful execution. I absolutely love it. make the Seattle Seahawks pay if they want to run too high. And the Giants were going for the throat on this play. I think this is the tight end screen play that we saw a little bit later on in the game called here, but Eric Gray keeps it for whatever reason. So you can see there's a massive blitz. You have weak side pressure. You have strong side pressure from Devon Witherspoon. Everybody's pass blocking, so it's not supposed to be a running play. You can notice that right off the bat. Daniel Jones goes to hand it off. This is a 21-12 personnel look, whatever you want to constitute Daniel Bellinger as. Daniel Bellinger leaks out of the backfield, and he runs that same route that he ran against Indianapolis, where he acts like he's going to block, and then he just turns it into a vertical. And I think this was supposed to be a flea flicker pass to Theo Johnson, because it doesn't even look like the wide receivers running the routes are actually really running the routes. You can see Darius Slayton goes to block the safety. Jalen Hyatt isn't running necessarily too hard. He's kind of looking to see how the Seattle defense is reacting. And then you have Daniel Bellinger at the top of the screen, separating from number 17, the linebacker. And then Theo Johnson, you can see how he goes and he engages the block, and then he turns around like he's waiting for the football, doesn't block anybody, and then Eric Gray is getting tackled for like a 2-yard gain. So this, to me, I think was supposed to be the flea flicker that we ended up seeing a little bit later on in the game. And it ends up going for a 2-yard rush. For whatever reason, Eric Gray did not feel comfortable throwing the ball back to Daniel Jones. And it could be right here. As you can see, Eric Gray is looking at Theo Johnson. He sees Devon Witherspoon blitzing and is going to be unblocked. So maybe at that point, Gray was like, look, I have a double team on Leonard Williams. Theo Johnson's on 10. I'm going to keep the football and try to slip past Theo Johnson before he peels back to receive the football on the screen. It doesn't work at all. Uchenna Nwosu ends up making this tackle. But I think that's what happened, because this was supposed to be a flea flicker, the play that we ended up seeing a little bit later on. Either way, though, I like the aggressiveness, right? This is going for the throat. You just had a 27-yard run from Tyrone Tracy Jr. You have this team on their heels. They are playing the run aggressively, and Dabo was able to take advantage of that throughout this drive with the play action passing attack. So here he's going to go for a flea flicker tight end screen. He gets the blitzers that he wants. It's like 6 men coming on the blitz right here from Seattle. But I guess Gray did not feel comfortable enough with Witherspoon being unblocked, so he ends up just taking it short gain for the New York Giants. See Gray one more time. Gets the football. He's like, nah, son. I ain't pitching that back. I'm just going to take what I can get. And he did. This is Daniel Jones' 3rd year in Brian Daboll's system and Brian Daboll's offense, and he seems to really understand it. He has answers beyond just quick game. That deep 40-yard pass to Darius Slayton. Brian Daboll raved about Daniel Jones after the game because that was not the primary read. It was a far hash throw, something Daniel Jones has not successfully hit throughout his career. And Daniel Jones put that out there perfectly, diagnosed the play, read the defense, everything that you want from your quarterback. Daniel Jones delivered on that play and through much of this game. So that was only a 2-yard run before. And I love this play. Play action. Look, Giants are running the football pretty successfully. They just ripped off a 27-yard run not long before that. So you're going to have a too-high shell, but then that safety to the weak side is going to rotate down. You get that weak side rotation. Show duo. You can see how Daniel Jones really puts the ball out there for Tyrone Tracy Jr., and it's a play action passing. Hit Theo Johnson right behind the linebackers. Just watch how the linebackers and the Seattle defense reacted, though. That safety rolling down, they all pinch up like it's a run. Theo Johnson gets right behind Rashawn Jenkins, makes the catch, 22-yard gain from the Giants. This is the second and 8 on this drive. The last one was the quick throw to Darius Slayton that we went over about 5 or 6 minutes ago. That was a 7-yard gain. This one goes for 22 yards. The Giants go under center. They run the football successfully. Now Seattle is not going to be in a too high. They're going to rotate their weak side safety downward, and the Giants are going to throw it over the top of the weak side rotation. It's so great to see your coaching staff be one step ahead of another coaching staff. It's not something that we've said too frequently this season, Cleveland game notwithstanding. But Brian Daboll, Daniel Jones, Giants offense, they had answers in this game. That's a nice throw over the top of these second-level defenders, right into the breadbasket of Theo Johnson, who gets tackled for a minimal yards after the catch. And we receive quarterback power, baby. I love this because what was Seattle in? Again, let's see where Julian Love and Rashawn Jenkins are. Too high shell. A too high shell. They're both at depth. The Giants go 2 by 2. with no tight end attached to the line of scrimmage. And what the Giants do is they create extra gaps by pulling the backside guard and the backside tackle for Daniel Jones on a quarterback power. The Giants put both of these unblocked defenders in a bind because it could be Tyrone Tracy, could be Daniel Jones, and Daniel Jones keeps this. And the play side defender just misses Daniel Jones. This could have been a bash type play if he hands the football off to Tyrone Tracy there. He does not, reads the defender, keeps it, and then he follows the blocks and ends up picking up 11 yards to set the Giants up first and goal. Look, the Giants are going to run Daniel Jones, and it's working for them. He had 11 carries in this game. Some of them were off of scrambles, but most of them were design runs like this. Here, the Giants take advantage of the too high. So you have one less defender in the box, and now you're bringing your guard and your tackle to the front side of the play if Daniel Jones keeps his ball, creating these extra gaps for Seattle to account for. So now it's just on the Giants offensive line to wash these other defenders down the line of scrimmage. Leonard Williams at 3 technique. Let's get him out of there with Jermaine Illuminori and Greg Van Roten. Now you have Andrew Thomas pulling around to Goodson. He makes contact, and look at that hole. Daniel Jones outruns Leonard Williams, gives him a little bit of a stiff arm there. You love to see that. And then Julian Love comes down from depth to make this tackle, but 11 yards were already surrendered. In football, sometimes it just comes down to math. You're looking to create extra gaps. You're looking to exploit space and create a numbers advantage for your offense against the defense. And on this play, not only do the Giants take advantage of the two high safeties, but 55 and 10 are unblocked defenders here, essentially. Now, Runyon has to make contact with him, so Runyon ends up getting accounted for the play side player in Uchenna Nwosu, but 55 is unblocked, and he just latches on to Tyrone Tracy Jr. So now you have all this space for Daniel Jones. So what have the Giants been doing so far? This is the touchdown play to Wan'Dale Robinson. They've been running the football effectively. They've given Daniel Jones several options. Coaching point from Brian Daboll and the Giants offensive staff. Mike McDonald wants to do this too high stuff. We are going to run the football, and we are going to out-physical the Seattle Seahawks in the trenches. And that's exactly what the Giants did. When's the last time we were able to rave about the Giants' physicality up front on the offensive line? They weren't able to out-physical Mozzie Smith and the Dallas Cowboys on Thursday Night Football, but they beat up the Seattle Seahawks. And they made it near impossible for Mike McDonald to run the defense that he wanted to run with two high shells. And this is without Malik Neighbors, right? Brian Daboll brings Daniel Jones back under center. Wan'Dale Robinson is going to motion outward inside from about the top of the numbers to right where Chris Manhertz is. Last time the Giants ran this play where Wan'Dale Robinson motioned outward, inward, it was a check and it was a duo run that went for 27 yards. We just saw that earlier in this video. That was on this drive. So Giants run a similar look, and now they're going to hit play action, watch those linebackers pinch up, catch the Seattle Seahawks in man coverage with Wan'Dale Robinson squeaking underneath. And you have two crossing routes from Jalen Hyatt and Darius Slayton. And Darius Slayton's crossing route is going to clear out exactly where Wan'Dale Robinson is running to. You can see how the safety realizes it just a little bit too late. I'm not sure if he's using his peripheral vision to see Darius Slayton coming at him. Either way, Reek Woolen ends up running into his linebacker who thinks he's fitting the run against Tyrone Tracy Jr. So this defense didn't understand what the Giants were doing play in and play out. And they kept getting out of position because the Giants were getting out to the edge. They were using those RPOs out to the edge. They were taking advantage of McDonald's structure. And then here in the red zone, they just throw another play action pass, the second huge play action pass of this drive. First was a 22-yard gain by Theo Johnson. Now here's a 7-yard touchdown pass to Wan'Dale Robinson. Run it one more time from this angle. Motion Wan'Dale inward. Show the run, show the run, show the run. Have John Michael Schmitz peel back. I appreciate that from Carmen Brasillo and Brian Daboll. John Michael Schmitz peels back. He's able to take on these unblocked defenders, these initial unblocked defenders who are going to be pursuit defenders if this was a run. It's not a run because it's a ruse. It's a play action pass. Wan'Dale Robinson creates separation. Daniel Jones delivers a very beautiful pass. Upfield shoulder allows Wan'Dale Robinson to run into the end zone for 6. And that is the touchdown for the New York Giants. I'll run through these plays one more time as I get out of here. But look, there was a tug-of-war battle here between Mike McDonald and the New York Giants. Mike McDonald forced, and the Seattle Seahawks forced that 3rd and 2 where Jones was able to pick it up with a quarterback run, design quarterback run off the zone read. It's a lot of RPO options here. Again, Brian Daboll is trusting Daniel Jones to make the right decision, and why not? When he is playing the way he played against Seattle, you want him to have the football in his hands because he's finding solutions. And And that's all you're asking for at this point. And I wanted to just highlight this drive because scoring points at this juncture of the game after just 2 drives ago, you went 3 and out last drive. And then 2 drives ago was you got down to the 1-yard line and you fumbled. The Giants kicked it back to Seattle, and Seattle put points on the board and they went up 14-0 on the road. That would have been devastating. We've seen that game script so many times from the New York Giants in recent memories. But instead, the Giants are able to battle back here, and they're able to take advantage of Seattle from an X's and O's standpoint, and they're able to just beat up Seattle up front while also remaining a step ahead of the defense. Defense did not have a beat on what the Giants were doing. And I'm so happy that Daniel Jones was able to execute this drive so well so the Giants could put some points on the board, allow this to be a neutral game script so the defense could do what they did against Geno Smith and the Seattle offense throughout the game. So I wanted to highlight this drive. I hope you enjoyed this video. I am Nick Filato here. Please go follow me on Twitter at Nick Filato. Go check out the website, Big Blue View. And also, let's see what the New York Giants can do, right? The New York Giants, Sunday Night Football against the Cincinnati Bengals. It's going to be a tough spot. Cincinnati's hungry. They're 1-4 at this point, but the Giants are playing complimentary football for the first time in quite a while. And I know in week 4, they didn't score a touchdown. They kicked a bunch of field goals. I get that, but they were creating explosive plays against this defense that connected for 2 touchdown passes, Wan'Dale Robinson and Darius Slayton. And this drive was the spark that they needed after they received a few sparks earlier that ended up being absolutely nothing. Actually, it was a net negative because of what ended up happening to the New York Giants. So I'm happy with this drive, and I hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown. Take care of each other, everybody, and have a lovely day.